Hi, everyone. Welcome to Live with Janome. Today, we're going to be talking about the joys of embroidery software part 2. And it's part 2 because I did one earlier, and this tells us more about our software. So let me close this here and get my screen up. Hello, everyone. So I'm Ann Hine, Embroidery Software Specialist for Janome America. And today I wanted to talk to you about all those software and app programs that Janome has for our machines and where your machine fits into this and a little bit how they work. And at the end, I'm going to talk about two of the two different software that we have. They sort of come packaged together, and I have a little project I'm working on. So you'll see this project at another time as I work through it, but I just want to show you the start of it today. And then you can get started creating your part. So you'll find that out near the end of what I have today. So I have a bit of a PowerPoint that I'm showing to show you the different parts of the different softwares so you can see all of that up front. So let me get to the right page for that. And I got to see where I'm going here. All right, so here we are. Hang on one second while I get this to come up to full screen. There we go. I think we are full screen. Oh, one more maybe. There we go. All right, so this is titled, Janome Software and Apps, What Goes with What? So let's start out. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is where to find the information. And this is really important. So this web address up here is our Janome Global page. Many of you hear me say, go to the Janome Global page. Well, on the Janome Global page, you have machine owners information and updates, Janome bulletins for when they bring out a new foot or some accessory. They make a printable sheet that you could print out and keep in your files. The different manuals are here. There's an accessory list, and all of our software and apps are located in here if there's updates and things to those. So that's what's in this part of it. And then if you go to janome.com, this is the USA page. We redid our page. So go and check it out. I think you have to reapply for your newsletter and things like that. So make sure you do that. And if you find any bumps along the way, there is a web address that you can, or an email address that you can send your problems to if you find something missing. They're still working on it. And, we haven't touched upon everything on there. But it's a beautiful new page. I love it. It's very easy to navigate right now. Okay, so let's start out with Artistic Digitizer, the full program, and the junior program. So our full program, of course, has all the bells and whistles, all the tools, and the junior program is a smaller version of it. And for our Wi-Fi machines, it's very important because it's your link to connect your machine to your sewing machine to your computer and send wirelessly. And it's both for Mac and PC. So these are all the machines on the Janome side that can use this software. And when you're in the program, you can go to other brands as well. So it's multi-branded. So you can see we have a lot of our Janome brands here, Janome models here. And then I have a little note there that the current AD, the full program, it does come, the junior program, I'm sorry. The junior program does come with the CM17. Now, sometimes you'll get it in a bonus package with other machines. So always check for that if it's a junior or a full program. Now, junior program can be updated. You don't have to buy the full program. You can buy an update kit and it updates your junior program to the full. And this isn't a sample software. It's the true software. It's not, when you go to the bigger program, it looks all the same. You just have more tools and more things that you can play with. And I always recommend, if you have junior, and actually come over to our Janome Artistic Digitizer Facebook page, Janome Artistic Digitizer Facebook page, so that you can learn your software. We have lots of videos and help there. All right, so when you're looking for your software and apps, sometimes you go to the Play Store, you can go to the App Store. For some of our apps are Android and some are Mac now. Some only work on an iPad. and not on your phone, so you have to double check that kind of thing. So in the stuff that comes with your machine, you'll find these QR codes instead of CDs, which we used to have. You'll find these QR codes, and in the QR codes, you can find sometimes your manual is there. Instructional videos are located in there. Some of the software that we have is located that way as well. So look for those in your quick start guide or in your manual itself where the accessories are. You'll find it there. Now this is an old one, but we still have people that use the 15,000. And with the 15,000, we have Horizon Link Suite. It came out as Horizon Link. I believe the 12,000 had Horizon Link, and then the 15 had Horizon Link Suite. So in that was bundled the embroidery link tool, where you can bring in embroideries and merge them, enlarge them, and shrink them, rotate, all that stuff. It's just minor editing. It's not any recalculating of stitches. You can use the pattern combo tool for your sewing side, so you can combine patterns there. The AccuFill quilting tool is in this program as well. We'll talk more about that after. Stitch Composer is included in here, and which I'll talk about later. The screensaver tool is in here, and of course you can see in that program itself, there's the movie and the installer. This is a great program. It's a great way, if you have the 15,000, to be able to view all your designs, actually pictures of your designs. And if that's all you use it for, I think it's great. If you open the embroidery link tool, you'll find more options within there. The Skyline 9, it has its own, now these are PC programs we're talking about first. So AccuTools is for our Skyline 9, our S9, and it too is very much like Horizon Link Suite. It looks very much the same. Embroidery editor. It comes packaged in there with Stitch Composer and the screensaver tool, and of course you need your USB installer driver is located in that software. So again, look for that software so that you can upload it to use with your machine. It goes on a computer, it doesn't go on your machine. It does allow you, both of those programs allow you to send wirelessly to your wireless machine. Now the next one is Embroidery Editor. And Embroidery Editor, this part of it is actually in AccuTools and Horizon Link Suite. But when we brought out the 550E, they only need Embroidery Editor. So it fits all of these machines here that I have listed. And it comes in to your computer, and it allows you to export to a USB or use a cable connection. And it's great for even viewing your designs if that's all you use it for. It's great for that. Okay, AccuStitch Stitch Composer. Now this came out with when the version 3 Horizon 15,000 came out. So when they updated to a version 3, they brought us something called Create STX. And it was a small version and it was in Horizon Link Suite for creating stitches. You take decorative stitches and you can create with them on the embroidery side of your machine. Okay. Now, right now it comes in the box with the CM17, and I think definitely with that. And then the 550 ELE, it's in the box with that. And the reason these are together is when you get AccuStitch, it comes with a version of Stitch Composer, which means Stitch Composer is where you can create your own stitches line by line. So you can create decorative stitches, then you can turn around and use them in AccuStitch. Now that's what I'm going to be showing you at the end. I am working on a project. I love to bring Stitch Composer, AccuStitch, and Artistic Digitizer all together into one project. So I'm going to show you a little bit of the parts as I'm working through it. So this is where you'll find this one, and it was good for all of these programs here. You can purchase AccuStitch separately if it did not come with your machine, but please look through the accessory list for your machine and see if there's a QR code so you know for sure what you're getting. And I'll go back one. Let me see here because, I don't have it there. Okay. And then here's Stitch Composer on its own. So Stitch Composer, it comes packaged with your CM17. And then at the bottom, you can see well, I didn't put it in here, but it also comes in the S9 configuration and the, what's the other one? The Horizon 15,000. So we do have this program, same program, you can use with an M8 or an M7. I have the M6 and the 9410 with a little red dot. I'm not sure if I think they both can use the software as well. I have to look again about their USB stick ability, because you transfer by USB stick. So even our sewing machines now have a software they can use to create more decorative stitches for your machine. And you're probably thinking, why would I want any more decorative stitches? There's too many already, or I never use them. Well, sometimes you don't use them because you don't have that particular one that fits your project. And here you can create your own. And it's not that difficult. I mean, I'm going to show you a difficult one, but and an easy one so you can see the difference. We also have the AccuFill program. Now AccuFill came out a long time ago with the 11,000. And then when we brought out the 12, they're much like the 500 and 550E, you would have to buy the additional AccuFill hoop and the program to use it. And then when we came out with the 15,000, it was included in your Horizon Link suite. All right, and it does not work for the S9 because those hoops are too small. The 9850, which one is, the 9850, that one is too small. 9900, those hoops are too small, so it doesn't work with that machine. So with the M17, we just released it again for our M17 people, because you already have the hoop in with all your other hoops, and you can find that there's a download available. If you look in your you can even go to the global page, or you can look in your quick start guide. There are some information there to download that. Now up in the corner, I'm showing the new clamps that work on this is just for the CM17 for their embroidery hoop. Okay, and what this does is when you use these, you put them on top of those big clamps for that hoop, and there's arrows on them, so you can use your quilting hoop with AccuSetter, so for placement of your quilting designs. So they've added that little part on. So this is an additional purchase. Sometimes these are included since we have them now. Sometimes they're included in a bundle. But for those of us who got a machine before they came out, you can purchase them, and the code is up there. Now all the other machines, the 500, 550E, that line down at the bottom, there is an update right now for you to get AccuFill as well. If you've purchased the AccuFill box that you see up in the corner. So if you've already purchased, there is an update available on the global page, so you can update your AccuFill program, but it's just for those who purchased. All right, let's talk about an app. Now, before I get going, I'm moving from our software into apps. And if you have questions, I meant to say this at the top, please post down below. I'm going to come back afterwards. I'm not watching my comments today, but I'm going to come back after and check the comments and answer any questions that you may have about anything that I covered in this video, because there's a lot of stuff, and you may have to watch it once or twice, or stop it on the screen when I show the slide with information that you want. Now, with our CM17, we got a program called Embroidery Link. And this is an app. It goes on an Android tablet or an iPad. I think you can even get it on an Android phone. This is the one. It doesn't work on the iPhone, but I think you can get it on an Android phone. It's very tiny, of course, but you could use it there. Now, and it says up there, Google Play or App Store. That's where you would get it. In your quick start guide, there are QR codes you can take a picture of, and it'll take you right to Embroidery Link. Now, Embroidery Link combines the embroidery editor we used to have, but it's like on steroids, because now in Embroidery Link, not only and it's great for viewing your designs, not only can you resize, but it recalculates the stitches. So it's like a mini digitizing. So if you wanted something bigger, it's going to generate those stitches. If you make it smaller, it's going to take away stitches. So, and there's some density things you can change in there as well. It has a lot in this program: rotating, skewing, there's lettering. I think there's 12 to 15 different fonts in there that you can use. You can import other designs into here, not just your Janome designs. Other embroidery designs you've purchased. If you want to add something to, you can change colors in there. There's a lot you can do with the Embroidery Link software. It also combines an app we're going to come to in a little bit called the AccuMonitor. So those on our 15,000, we have AccuMonitor. So once you get embroidering, you can turn on your iPad and there open the monitor and you can watch your machine stitching. If you have your back to your machine, you can see what color's coming up or something like that. Or should you leave the room, you could take your iPad, and go to the other room. A lot of us don't do that, but there's that possibility. So in Embroidery Link, once you have it open and you have your machine running and you're all in the same network, it will switch over to the monitor program. So it's built into the program. I think that's really cool. One less thing we have to go look for. All right, now we talk about AccuSetter. How many people have used AccuSetter? This is a great, when they brought this out, I was like, hallelujah, this is, an embroiderer's friend. What this is, it's for perfect placement. It uses your device, for the 15,000, you can use an app or an iPad or an Android, and you can use your tablet or an iPad to take a picture of your hoop. You send it to the AccuSetter you open the AccuSetter program, it prompts you to take the picture, you take your picture, it brings the design into your app, and then you align the little dots so that it aligns with your hoop. And then next, once you do that, it plops it in there, and then you can move that design around on the screen of your device so that you can put it in the perfect placement in the hoop. So if you put a crosshair and you wanted something to line up with it, or maybe you're putting something above a pocket, or like me, and everybody laughs at me because they're like, oh, Ann does it. Ann always, hoops crooked. Yeah, I do. And it's just, sometimes we do, all of us do. So now I can realign. If you've built your design in the edit screen of your machine, so say you had a design you brought in and then you went and brought lettering in and a third design, when those go into AccuSetter, all those designs are individual ones that can be moved. And you have a little bit of editing. You can rotate, you can resize them down or up 20%, just like in your machine. So you have some ability at the end to tweak that design a bit more in the AccuSetter program. And this is a great app. Hands down, a great app. And these are the machines that can use AccuSetter. Now we have AccuEdit. This is an app for the machines here, the 15,000 and the S9. It's very much like, it doesn't look like the embroidery editor program we see, but it does let you access designs from the library of designs for your machine. Plus, you can have designs in your iPad that you can use in the program as well. So you have a lot of ability to play around with that. And it is the simple editing, rotating, resizing, things like that. And there's a little widget there, and when you touch it, it opens and expands for more tools. This is a really wonderful program as well. This is an app, and you get this in the App Store. There's AccuMonitor. I talked about this a little bit earlier. This is the one that works with these machines here, and so you can view what is stitching on your device while your machine is working. And it does show you the colors at the bottom, so you can see if you need to, when you're ready to change a color or something like that. Quilt Block Advisor. Oh, we just had a video done. It's on the Janome Sewing Machines Facebook page, so go ahead and do a search for Quilt Block Advisor. This is a great little program. It has 10 preset quilt blocks in it, and these are, what you do is you pick the block you want, you pick your finished size or your unfinished size, and then it calculates the size of the pieces and how many you need of each one. And then within that, you can go and look at the sewing directions. It gives you sewing directions as well. So it's a great way to, if you're not a full quilter and you saw a block, maybe the Lemoyne Star, which we used to call Lemon Star, Lemoyne Star. I'm trying to think what else is in there. There's like 10 different ones, and there's a 9 patch in there or something. But anyway, so there's some in there, so you can take a look at it. And so you can use it with, it's not that you use it with these machines, it comes with these machines through a QR code. Okay, so it's software to give you the size of blocks, and it shows you how to cut them. You cut them out of your fabric, and then you sew them together with these machines. And they package it with the sewing machines that you see here. Screensaver. Now, you all probably know I love Screensaver because I always have it going behind me on my 15,000. This comes 2 ways. You can have it on your PC, or you can have it on your device. So, and what you do is you can open the program, you can load in your photographs from your photo album in your device, or you can take a picture of something and bring it right in that way. You can have 5 or 6 pictures per library. And you can have as many library groupings as you want. So you can switch them out weekly if you want. Like maybe I put up my library 1, and then next week I'll set up 2, like that. So it comes with these machines here, except I know it says these machines down here, M8, M7, M6. I'm going to have to double check on that part of it. I don't know if I copied over this from the other page. Let me go back one. Let me see. Nope. So we'll have to double check. How to find this is if you have one of these machines, look in your manual for the QR code, and it will tell you if you have those. I just don't remember on those machines if the machine goes to sleep. I think it does, and there's pictures that go through. Now let me tell you this about Screensaver. When you can load them over through I think through the cable or through USB, and when you bring them over there, they load in, but you don't see where they load. The only way to see them load is when your machine goes into sleep mode and it starts rotating those pictures. So usually what I do is I put my mode down very, very low, my screen mode down very low, like maybe 1 minute, so I can see that they're going to be working. And then I set my screen to whatever I want. You don't want to keep it at 1 minute because then it's always going to sleep on you. But to see them, that's where they are. And then in your set mode, there's a way to go in and delete them. You just select and delete them. Okay, you just have to open that part of the set mode. It's under general settings, and then find it, and you'll see the delete there. And you only have 1 set of pictures in there at a time anyways. It just deletes what's in your machine. They're still saved on the device you started with. AccuSketch. How many people have played with AccuSketch? And I just want to mention everything I've talked about so far is free, except for Artistic Digitizer. All of these apps are free in the App Store or the Play Store. Now, it says in there, any machine that can read a JEF file can use this app, and hoop size may limit use for these users. So AccuSketch is a drawing app. It does a line drawing. Within the app, there's a purchase where you can purchase additional stitches to use, but you can use it directly with the machines I've listed here. You can send to them wirelessly, which is very good. So if you have a machine that isn't wireless, what you would have to do when you export your design, you would email it to yourself. Or if you had even, you can even put it in like AccuEdit. If you use AccuEdit or Embroidery Link, if I want to edit it some more or do something with it, I can put it in those programs. But you can actually email it to yourself. It's a JEF file. And then from your email, you can take it and put it on your USB stick and bring it to your machine. As long as you match the hoop that's in there, that you have to pick a machine, and you stay within your hoop sizes, you should be fine on that part of it. So that's AccuSketch. Now it is a line drawing. It is quite fun to play with. some people, I know a person who does, she actually creates coloring books, very detailed coloring books. And she did a few designs with this. It's amazing. I mean, I'm still drawing like, circles and, that 70s flower that I like to make. That's the extent of mine. But I have created some really cool things in AccuSketch. I like to push the limit. I mean, I created the stitch box to stitch a zipper down, to create a zipper pouch, all in AccuSketch, because all that is just lines, if you think about it. Okay, it does stitch out in one color, so if you're doing something that you want layered with other colors, save each part, and then you can bring them together on the screen, save them as part 1, 2, and 3, and then you can move them over that way to your machine. So many options. AccuDesign. Now, this is a purchasable app. This is the first one we had so many years ago, and it is very much like Embroidery Link, though Embroidery Link has a few more features than this one has. This is multi-formatted, so if you are a multi-brand user, you can use this with your other brands as well, not just Janome brands. And to upload it, those with Wi-Fi machines can Wi-Fi right over, though I don't think they've updated it for the CM17. In that case, you could email it to yourself and move it out that way. Okay, that is purchasable. I think it's around $50 on that part. And then these apps, I really like these. These are like little manuals in the palm of your hand. Okay, AccuAssist is for our first one that came out is the one in the middle, the AccuSpark for our M7. And the two on the right, AccuSpark and AccuSpark 2, they work by QR code. So say you bring something up on the screen of your machine, if you just open this app and use the picture feature, the QR feature, it'll read the QR code, take you to the page with the information about that foot or technique that you're doing. You can also go through the menu portion of it and find out other information in there. There's tabs along the left-hand side and across the bottom. Lots of information as you poke through and open up more things. There's a plethora of information. So even if you didn't have a CM17 and M7 or M8 or the 9480, you could still download the app. They're free. You could still download it and find out all this cool information. Now, the CM17 one is a bit bigger app. It has both the sewing and the embroidery side on your machine, on your device, and you can send wirelessly from your device to your machine. So if I'm looking at decorative stitches and I'm like, ooh, I like that one, when I select it, there's a send button. And if I'm in the sewing side, I can send it over there and it sets my machine up for that stitch, which is really great. And even on the embroidery side, you can see all the Janome embroidery designs and you can pick right from there. Sometimes I open them on my iPad because I have the big iPad and I can see those decorative stitches nice and big. That's one reason I like it. So anybody can really download these, but some of them you can't connect to another machine with them, but you can have a lot of information about sewing options. Like an S9 person could use the CM17. A lot of that information, sewing applications, all of that is in AccuAssist. So let's talk a little bit about Stitch Composer. I had it earlier because I showed it with AccuStitch and Stitch Composer as they come together. So on its own, you can see which machines it comes with. So you can use it for creating your stitches. And I'm going to show you one just let me see if this is where I put it. Here we go. So it's a plotting program. And you want to start on the bottom, where I have that lock stitch button. That's actually across the top of the field when you're working, but I want you to know it's there. What you're looking at here is from the bottom of my screen to the top. That is the 9mm width of your stitch. And you can see just above the lock stitch button, it says 0. That's center needle position. And your design is going to be going in the direction of Mr. Tweet. And what you do is you just plot in the numbers, and move over, you know, a block or however many it says on there. And then when you get done, you click the lock stitch and it adds in stitches in the beginning to lock it and the stitches at the end to lock and put the loop on it so it'll stitch the second design and the third design and fourth design and so forth. So you can just, and I put it up here so you could see the numbers if you wanted to follow this. Now these, this one here is, the stitches are very tiny. These are very close together. So you can see along the bottom, it's a millimeter from one, like if you're looking at 0 to 2 millimeter, that's a 2 millimeter difference. So you just have to think about your stitch, you know, think about what when we put in, we change our stitches. Our field is 9 millimeters wide. So, and you could go up and down. You could start in the center and move out. I'll show you one that I'm working from the center out. I love playing with this because I can create like Mr. Tweet or some other things. I've made other designs. Someone did some French knots, like some candle wicking type things. So you can be very creative with this as you play with it. There's a little viewer within it so you can see what you're stitching as well. All right, so this is what it looks like when you open it up, and you can see across the top, there's that lock stitch button. But all you would do is put your cursor anywhere along this left-hand side to start your design. And then you'd either click, you know, going to the right, or maybe you're going to go up, maybe you're going to start in the middle, whatever. You can, you know, wherever you're going to start, that's, you know, you can pick that part of it. There's a lot of other features in here I have not covered. There's some things, technical things that you can get into with stitches and tension and all of that. So it's very involved, but just for plotting out a quick design, you don't even have to worry about it. All that tension is taken care of. But if there's things you wanted to tweak, you can actually go in there and you can add stitches, you can delete stitches, all of that's available. And of course, any of these programs that look like this one up here, on the right-hand side is that would be the little blue question mark where the manual is. And so all your information would be in there. Now I've done 3 lessons on Stitch Composer. So if you go to the web page and search Stitch Composer, those will come up. They might have been written for a certain machine, but they're actually, anybody can create with these that has any of the machines that accepts a Stitch Composer design. Or if you're an embroidery person and you have AccuStitch, you get Stitch Composer, so you can create in there as well. All right, we're going to get to that in just a minute. So if you're going to find the designs, oh, I think these are out of order by one. Oh, that's what I was doing. Okay. If you wanted to save your design, you would go up to the corner up here and you would save it over here. And then or if you're going to look for designs, you could go over here or through the folder option and find out where they are. I'm going to cover that in another live so we can jump in more into Stitch Composer. Once you have your design done, you're going to select Write a Design. And then it opens up your USB window and you double click there on your USB. You'll see your ORDF. You do need to use an ORDF, so you double click on that. You can rename it. There's a little renaming area. Just click on rename and it brings up that thing and you can change the name. And then once you've double clicked on ORDF folder, it opens that folder and the red arrow, it's hard to tell here, it's a little bit darker. And once that highlights, click that and it goes right to your machine. Okay. And then when you go to your machine, you want to be in the sewing mode. You're going to select File Open. You're going to have your USB stick in there. Select USB, and of course, go through ORD, ORDF, and select your design. And design will save into the Created Stitches category under Decorative Stitches. Now, I think the sewing-only machines, those designs come in a little bit differently. You may have to open up the Created Stitches under Decorative, and then there's a little folder on there to open. I haven't played with that machine like I started with the I think the S7 had it. And so I haven't played with the M7 and those machines yet, how it comes in. But if you look through the manual, you'll find the information on that part of it. And then it's saved there, right, in your created stitches. Once you bring it in, it's saved to your machine and you can use it all the time. And so if you wanted to save it to your PC, you would go to that top corner where I showed you before. The menu is up there. Click Save As, and then this would save it into your PC somewhere, one of your folders or wherever you want to. You can navigate into your computer and save them. So when you want to put it on a USB, always use Write a Design. And Write a Design, once it highlights, you'll be able to access it. Don't forget, you really should use the lock stitch. Some of the times it'll prompt you about different things on there. All right, so this is a complicated one. This is called my X's and O's, and it's a design that I'm working on. I created it in Stitch Composer. I'm using it in AccuStitch, and which I'm going to talk about in a minute, and then I'm also going to use it in Artistic Digitizer. So what goes on with this, oops, sorry, let me go back. This, of course, I'm going to start here on the left, and I started, oh, wait a minute, I think I went too many. There we go. I started right here. And what these numbers mean is I started number 1, so I clicked here. I went up here where it says 2, and then I came back down to 3, went back up to 4, came back down here to 5, and then I went back up here to 6. So I doubled up my thread. I wanted my thread to be doubled. And I'm actually putting the stitch right in the same point. All my stitches here are on the cross of each of these big boxes. I don't have any of the little ones. I'm not using any of the little ones. I'm just using the ones that are on the cross here. So my stitches go right on top of each other. Once you start putting stitches on top of each other, you don't see them. You only see the last stitch you put. And you can use back stitch to go back a stitch or two to change. And so once you're up here at the top, we did 6, you're going to come over to 7, go back over to 8, 9, 10, 11, and then you come down here. So you just follow the numbers. Now my number key means the ones that they're all, these 3 are going to be in the same grouping. These are going to come up at another time, and then these are individuals. So you would just work your way. Here we go, 14, 15, wait a minute. Oh, this way, 15, 16, then you're going to come down here, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and then it jumps over here, 22, 23, 24, 25. And what I'm trying to do here is I have to work my way to the right. So I don't want to go up and around the top. So I'm going to go back and forth till I can get back here, back and forth, back and forth. And then I'm going to jump in, go around here, jump back out, jump over here, and start the X. Okay. Now it sounds complicated, but if you kind of think about it a minute, it makes more sense. Now you can go into, these can be printed out. You can go in and just print out a grid. And you just pull up an empty one and print it, or take a screenshot and save it and bring it and then print it out that way. You can enlarge it a bit and you could draw on it that way. And then you could take that to your there. You can also bring it in as a backdrop. So if you drew something or you have a picture of something, you can put it behind there and you can use that as your piece. So this one is called my X's and O's. And of course, remember when you get done, hit the lock stitch. It will add more numbers at the beginning and the end. I added this little piece here because it's going to add a couple more stitches. It'll bring it out to the edge of this piece right here. And that's where I wanted the O to connect, was right out here. So I knew once I did lock stitch and it went too far, I took lock stitch off, moved my piece back. I want a little space in there, but I don't want a huge one. We'll cover more of this because I'm gonna go into Stitch Composer throughout the year and play some more, but this gives you a chance to get in there and play with it a little bit. So this is what it looks like without all those numbers on there. And then I took it into AccuStitch. And AccuStitch is an embroidery program that works off decorative stitches. It has its own set of built-in stitches, but you can bring in your created stitches. And so here I've used the same stitch for the spiral. These are ruler work letters that are in there. I used it for here, and it shrinks them. You can shrink them down or make them bigger, and it recalculates those stitches for you. So this is a project I'm working on that will be working. I'm going to work along the way and show you how I created it. When you go into AccuStitch, you can see it looks very much like those other programs. You can choose your hoop here. Under the menu, you can choose what machine you have, so you have the right hoop for this. And then once you choose your hoop, you can come in and pick your design. These are all the shapes that you pick. Once you pick a shape, it opens up the design window. And oh, that's what happened. My design window is back here. Let me go back here. I think this is the one. Nope, that's not it. Well, I'm going to hold off here because this is a whole process to get into. But once you pick your shape, it pops up a new window with all the parameters that you can change that shape with, where you can make the shape bigger, you can set the size of the shape, and then once you click it, it goes onto your workspace. And from there, you can send it over to your machine to stitch it out, or you can save it to your files and then work with it maybe in Artistic Digitizer if you want to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I've created. Let me go back here and see. I'm going to back up just a little bit. And then let's see if I can. There we go. All right. So hopefully that last part didn't confuse her. So the reason I went into that just a little bit is I really want you to play with Stitch Composer, okay? And then dabble a little bit in AccuStitch. Get to play with that a little bit. So you can actually play with just the built-in stitches that are in there. You'll recognize them. They're the ones that were in your sewing machine. So you can go through and find them. They're on the C drive. Usually they're on the C drive under users, your name, and then I think they're artistic, you'll see AccuStitch, Stitch Composer, and just open them up and you'll see there's two groupings. One is the designs and one is the ruler work designs. So kind of play with that. I'll be doing more on it too as I go along. I'm doing screenshots because it's hard to to show you live on my computer. I've done that before, so it's a little bit, you don't get a clear picture. So I'll be doing some slides for that. So let me just show you what I've created so far. I have my camera up over here. Let's see if I go here, I think it'll go to the camera. There we go. All right, so we're looking at my S9 over there. And I'm just going to pick this one up. This is that spiral one. And you can see, let me just show you this part first. So here's the X and O that I did. And you can see on some of it, I have more stitches than others. I am using stabilizer. Okay, so I wanted parts of it to be doubled up. And then I took it from Stitch Composer into AccuStitch. And I picked that spiral and I applied it to the spiral. And then I brought it into, and I could lay it out like this in AccuStitch. So there were 3 in a row. But I think when I brought them into, I think I wanted to use the array with it actually. And then I just lined them up so they just overlap just a little bit right here. And then I have some little stitching because I have batting behind here. If you can see, there's some batting. This is going to be part of a zipper pouch. And then I played with this part. Let's see if this will stay up while I do this. Then I used this part of AccuStitch. I created a frame. There's a frame in there. So I created a frame. How handy would that be to make a quilt label? You could use one of the stitches in there and create a beautiful frame, take it into, well, you could do it right in AccuStitch, and then you could take it into your into your another program and add your lettering and stuff. These designs in here, these are what's called the ruler work designs. You can set them as straight stitches if you want, or you can add decorative. Now I added my little X and O in here and shrunk it down, and it looks like a little, isn't it cool? It almost looks like a little thread work, thick embroidery. I think it's pretty cool. So this is going to be one side of my bag, and I'm going to work on it slowly. I have to go back and make some slides of how I created each part so you guys can see that part of it. So you don't have to do anything big and difficult in AccuStitch. Let me go back here. Or even Stitch Composer. You could just make yourself in Stitch Composer, a little loop. I started with loops just to see how big things look. If you go to our Janome Artistic Digitizer Facebook page, I do have videos in there on Stitch Composer and a few on AccuStitch, and you just have to search using the magnifying search box for the page, not the one for Facebook, and it'll take you to those videos so you can see where they are. But start out little. I mean, it's just to get a feel for it. Create one, take it to the machine, let it stitch so you can see what's happening, and that will help you design. I mean, that's really what's helped me, is either watching some of my decorative stitches stitch, and you can slow your machine way down to see it, or watch your own stitches stitch out, and then you can see, oh, that's little. Or I did make myself a little graph one day with the stitches, so you can see one large box, how far that is. If you make your stitch too long, the software will tell you that's too long and you have to make it shorter. So there are some built-in safeguards. So start with your AccuStitch if you wanted to, and play with that a little bit and create your own decorative stitch. And then the world will open up to you, okay? I want to thank you all for joining me today. Hope we're not too long. Yeah, the usual, about 45 minutes. So everyone have a great day. I look forward to seeing you another time in the studio. Bye for now.